Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. And be comfortable yourself and relax your body. So keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line. And your right palm on your left, and gently close your eyes and follow this bell sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully Enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we are mainly trying to give you some basic informations for yourself to develop a very clear spiritual foundation. And at the same time, with that spiritual foundation, you should know how to develop your conventional life. Because spiritual life is not separated from the conventional world. The way you maintain your conventional life itself become your spirituality. So then you have to have the wisdom or the understanding or the basic knowledge regarding your own life. Because when it comes to this conventional life, it depends on our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, and at the same time, all the perception we perceive through it. See, this all material, this all physical. But at the same time, the way we understand it, the way we accept it, the way we react to that things depend on according to our point of view. So then if you have deeper understanding about your own point of view, and then that your reactions come out of your bodily, verbally, and mentally actions can be changed. So this transition, perception, and then when it become your bodily, verbally, mentally reactions, in between this, the way you recognize, the way you analyze, the way you understand, and the way you react to that things can change a difference. So then that difference responsible for you. And when you have the conscious decision, when you are more conscious regarding in between this both, that conscious decision can take you more deeper and make it profitable or unprofitable. So when you become more conscious, of course, naturally, it's always going to become more profitable. So when it comes to our day-to-day life, the very first thing we have to understand why we need to practice meditation, and we have to understand what is the meaning of meditation. Because as we know nowadays, the meditation is a very popular word. Around the world, there are a lot of people practice. There are many kind of meditations. But at the same time, we have to see what is the difference in between this meditation and this practice of this bhavana. So when we go to the very original word, come from the Buddha Sutras, It called the bhavana. So the bhavana itself means cultivation of the mind or the development of the mind. That development with the profitable skills. That the best profitable skills you should have the awareness. And at the same time, when it go to the Sanskrit, there is a word called dhyan. So the dhyan and it became the chan, and that when then the dhyan, it went to China, it became dhyan, and it became to Japan, it became Zen. So that dhyan meditation and the bhavana also has some kind of little bit difference. So dhyan meditation, it's kind of like a development of the mind to get into high mental powers and concentration. But when it comes to the bhavana, it has a more deeper meaning, go a little bit in a different way. So in the very first level, you come to the very tranquility state of the mind, and from there, you go deeper into critical analytical understanding. So, but when it comes to the Western world of this meditation, it has many meanings. But somehow we have to take that word to only for practice point of view to understand and for our communication. But you have to remember, when it comes to bhavana, it's deeply about touching the truth, getting to the reality, deeply understanding how things come to be as they are. So why we need that understanding? Because when it comes to our human life, what is this human life? The human life mostly built on the culture, tradition. So the culture is a kind of like that mostly the it's kind of like a habitual pattern. And human habits itself develop the culture. It is hard to change. And at the same time, the culture, it's very difficult to understand. And if you look into yourself, look, there are a lot of things that you keep doing because your parents did, your grandparents did, and even you have no idea who invent these things, but still you just keep doing it. And when it comes to the Buddha's teaching, sometimes this culture become the strongest barrier. When you are, it's not about only the Buddhism, that whatever, when you try to go towards the truth, your cultural barriers hold you. Why? Because you became like this through the culture, through the tradition. The culture it's a human made, and it has limits. And at the same time, it changed to according to the people. But when it comes to the Dharma or the truth, it's beyond this human-made thoughts. So now you have to understand then what is the difference. Dharma or the truth is not human-made. Culture, human-made. So you became like this through your culture. And so we come from Sri Lanka, India, Cambodia, and Vietnam, Nepal and Thailand. So then from here, when we try to teach the Buddhism, if you try to teach it with the Sri Lankan Buddhism, Thai Buddhism, Cambodian Buddhism, Vietnamese Buddhism, it only for that people. Why? Because that cultural bond. And just imagine there is a person, Western person, American person, or European person. They want to know what is Buddhism. So then you can't teach your cultural Buddhism. Then you have to find the way to teach the truth. So that is where the meditation helps. Because when it come to observe the inhalation exhalation, or when you contemplate on your inhalation exhalation, or when you contemplate on the sensation of the body, the pain, you are not going to observe it or recognize it according to the whatever the Sri Lankan way or whatever the other ways. You just recognize according to the way you feel and according to the way you understand it. It doesn't have any cultural barriers. So that is the good thing with the meditation. So that is where it creates a bridge. Anybody can cross the world and get into the truth. Otherwise, if we go with these cultural barriers, for certain level, you feel comfortable, but there is no way that we can change another person to whatever another culture. It cannot do that. You can't change any person. Don't even try it. You're wasting your time. You can't change another person to your culture. But the thing is, you can bring another person, any person, to the truth. Everybody can see it. Everybody can experience it. Everybody can accept that. Everybody can go through it. So then yourself, you have to have the open mind. You have to have the ability to accept, to be as who you are, and at the same time give the ability to understand the very moment of the feelings that you have. So that is the good thing with the meditation. So that's why you can practice the meditation, and that's why you should practice the meditation and get into that. Because otherwise, if you believe the culture, tradition as the truth, and then you're going to be very limited with that understanding, and that always going to end being unhappy. So there is unsatisfaction. But get out of that boundary, get into your deeper understanding, is the ultimate result of this practice. So once you start to tune to that very natural process of your own inner being, what happens? So that is where the transformation happens. So when it comes to meditation, sometimes this idea of meditation have a kind of like, it brings us some pictures. So one is closing eyes, sitting, crossing legs, so kind of like that. And sometimes some people think, oh, meditation. Oh, it's kind of like, oh, if he or she practice meditation, maybe can get high mental powers, can do miracles. And sometimes some people think, oh, when you practice meditation, oh, they can read others' mind. Some people think, oh, meditation, I can have that whatever I want, manifestation. But when you look at the Buddha's life, he was a prince. He had a very luxurious life. And he gave up that all. And then he went place to place and practicing himself and trying to realize this deeper inside. Somehow by the time himself, he able to get into that wisdom, which we call self-realization. And so see that now the way people think about, oh, meditation, this is what meditation. If you look into yourself and question yourself, do you need that? Or kind of like get into high mental powers and kind of like reading others' minds and having supernatural powers? Is that the very purpose of you? If it is so, the Buddha's meditation is not for you. So that means the tranquility meditation and the vipassana meditation is not for you. You should go into that kind of whatever, that miracle path. Good luck. But here, what the Buddha understood, and what is the very purpose of the Buddha's teaching? Self-realization. Recognize yourself. And then once you have the self-realization, that's once you know who you are, what is happening inside you. What happens? It brings the self-transformation. You start to change yourself. That is the biggest result you can gain through this conventional practice in the conventional level of life. As a person, you change. How good it is, even for you. Why it is? Because whatever the miseries, sadness, disappointment happens, whatever the difficulties that you go through, the very first reason is it is your inner behavior. You are the one who invited that all. There is a reason in you that you go through that. Sometimes we don't see it. We always think because of that, because of this, like that. But remember, this is the day for you to change. Tomorrow may be too late for you. So take that opportunity. Invest your life for that change. Have the strength and the courage for yourself to deeply change inside you, especially your point of view. And that way, you will see that you get out of the prison. You get out of the boundaries that you build up by your own thoughts. You are like the sky, you are unlimited, but you feel always very limited with inside your own thoughts. So with that change, once that change happened, the very first thing happened to you, you start to shift from this cultural barrier. It's called breakthrough blueprint. That's the new word for that. You start to change your blueprint because your culture build up a blueprint in you. That's how you do everything. Somehow you navigate towards that. Whatever you do, wherever you go, that blueprint holds you. So the very first thing then, that transformation start to change your blueprint. So then in day-to-day life, you are the one who going to get result out of it. So then remember, the practicing meditation, especially tranquility meditation and vipassana meditation, means deeply bringing that change and bring the ultimate freedom to you. That's which we call the nibbana. It's a process. So for that, there are a few things. Of course, you practice meditation, but at the same time in day-to-day life, there are a few things that you have to practice. So I'm going to give you some information regarding that. So the very first thing, when you try to do something, always your mind start to block it. Not for everything, your mind going to say yes. So the most of time when you try to do some profitable things, your mind start to block it. Mental blocks. You have mental blocks. So don't try to struggle with it. The very first thing, and start to find a way to detour that, your own mental blocks. So that's why the meditation is necessary, because that technique, it's, you can brush up, you can master through practice meditation. So you are not struggling with the mind, you are not fighting with the mind, you are not escape from the mind, you are not afraid for the mind, but now you navigate your mind towards your primary mental object. It doesn't matter whatever happen around you. So then you can apply to your day-to-day life with whatever you do. So then you go for that. And on the way, whatever happen, keep the ability to go towards your primary goal. So that is a skill. Because most of time we think we can do that. But 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if you try, there are a lot of things you start to do. So that's why master the technique with the meditation. So whatever primary mental object you gain, you take a conscious decision, you be with it. So whatever the mental blocks come, you navigate that, you go with it. And the second one, when you keep practice, there's always the self-doubt arise. So then sometimes we give up the practice, especially when we practice meditation, that your mind start to bring many questions to you. That questions sometimes take you out of the practice. But you have to uproot it rather than giving the opportunity for yourself doubt and take responsibility, go into it and uproot it. So, as example, one time when the Buddha practiced meditation in the jungle, the forest, and he heard this kind of like a noise. And then he thought, maybe somebody come towards him. Now his mind, the sound came, but now the mind start to talk to him. And then, because it was a deep jungle and no people around that, now the mind wondering, oh, maybe ghost or the demons, oh, maybe try to kill me, oh, maybe Mara come behind me. Now he heard the sound, something. So the mind is stunned, but still he keep practice. Now his mind, he start to argue, and the doubt came, and regarding that sound and what is that sound, and give many ideas about it. But still, he keep practice, and after he practice, the mind has a confidence suddenly. Why? Because that all the arguments happen inside, he overcome. And then he look around. And then he didn't see suddenly something, but he knew there was a sound, something happened. And he then little bit go around and so then he saw there was a little deer ran away. So then that doubt disappeared. Why? Because recognize what is that. So otherwise, if that doubt thinking, oh, it's the Mara, oh, it's a ghost, oh, it's a somebody, it's kind of like the shadow can create many kind of things. So that's why this, you have to uproot this all the self-doubt that whatever happens inside. So that is where you need the strength, the courage, and the self-awareness to go deeper. So when you observe inhalation, exhalation, and there is, don't try to assume, no assumption. Be very clear with the sensation. It is a very simple thing. You focus, and sometimes people say, I can't feel. So then bring the focus, bring the attention, and just be with it. Don't assume. If you try to assume what will happen, you start to follow the shadow, and then it invite the doubt. That's why this practicing itself make you very clear, and deeply that clarity will help you to break through the blueprint. And then the other thing is focusing. So it is a mental ability. It is a skill. So develop it. And the inside you, there is a laser-like focus. So discover it. It is there. It's covered with many distractions. You are capable to focus. So bring it little by little, not overnight. It takes time. But every day, look at yourself and see how you focus. Work on it. Brush up it. strengthen it. Take a conscious decisions to be focused, even for a little thing. And that way you will see little by little by little, you uplift the ability to focus. And the, the, the fourth one is, you are capable to bring the crystal clear vision inside you. That is very necessary. So by the culture, tradition, they gave us many kind of things to do. Those are become the great barriers to yourself when you start to build up a vision. So the vision itself means not you start to become a part of the culture. Vision means you let that culture to be as it is, but you become completely independent and you look through that freedom. That is where you can find something new. That is where you can see the truth. But most of time what happens? When we look into things, we always look through the culture. So that's why it's kind of like we become part of it. Everything kind of like a repetition of the culture. But your time is very limited here. Your responsibility should be, rather than being part of the culture, try to be a part of the truth. So in the ancient time, the very responsibility of the culture was protecting the truth. That was the meaning of the culture, purpose of the culture, duties of the culture. But you know what happened? Because it's always human made. So then people are introduced little by little, their own ideas. Whoever powerful, whoever have the strength, sorry, they excuse me. So whoever have the strength, and they used to introduce the culture, the tradition. So then we have to follow it. So that's why always have to remember yourself. Your purpose should not be a part of the culture. But the thing is, when you find the truth, somehow you can contribute it to the culture, and the culture becomes stronger, and the culture becomes truth, that rich. If there is no truth, that whatever the culture, that culture going to become very poor. So then what happens? By the time most of people, rather than go towards the truth, they used to bound, hold, be with comfortable with around the culture. And then by the time it became poor. And once the people have the poor culture, they escape from the truth. They go away from the truth. When you away from the truth, you go towards the illusion. And when you go towards the illusion, as a result of that, you have the more and more and more suffering, miseries, difficulties, fear, unsatisfaction. So then, remember yourself, when you give your culture to your next generation, your children, your grandchildren, are you willing to give the suffering, unsatisfaction? Are you willing to give the fear? Are you willing to give the failure? Are you willing to give this poverty? Are you willing to give this unsatisfactory nature? If it is so, go for it. If it is not like that, what you should do then? First, you have to connect it to the truth. So then now your culture doesn't have the truth. So then you have to find it. So that's why when it comes to meditation, you should not repeat whatever that you keep doing during your day-to-day life. So then you come to the breathing, you come to the sensation, and without any favor, without any influence, without any resistance, without any control, without any judgment, you observe it. So in that way, you can find the truth. Otherwise, rather than repeating your thoughts or your lifestyle, you can't find the truth. So once you find the truth, you can contribute it to the people. You can contribute it to you can give it to your next generation, and that's going to become the best gift for the culture. So then remember yourself, then when it comes to meditation, rather than what you believe with the world, first try to make it free and have the intention to go towards self-realization and see ultimate truth within yourself. And that's why day by day, you need the practice. And through that practice, you can break through this blueprint and become a very brand new person. So once you become like that way, you experience the highest level of human intellect through your own moment of living. That's going to become the highest joy, and that's going to become the highest satisfaction. And that's going to become the ultimate wisdom that you can gain through this human life. So it is possible for you. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck get straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say so patveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So, in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. When it happens through the sensation, recognize it, do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. So expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Also, by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjisami idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.